Whoa, another really long video. So the last 4 videos have been over 8 minutes. I apologize, but why am I apologizing to you? Who cares? This subject matter might be a little grim. So before we get started with what I talk about and scream at you for a long period of time, let's do something really, really embarrassing.
Deflect them. Dodge. Deflect. Dodge. Deflect. Dodge. Deflect. Dodge. Deflect. This isn't just aerobic, it also builds muscle. And dodge. Deflect. And dodge. Deflect. You've beaten the bully. Congratulations. You have successfully dodged and deflected his punches until he got bored and ran away. He did get in a couple of belly shots. That's why you had the book. It hurt him more than it hurt you. A lot of us like to read, but others of us like to play video games. So, this is the video game section. Let's start with a warm-up. The It's-a Me Mario. It's-a Me Mario. It's-a Me Mario. It's-a Me Mario. I'm dizzy. Let's move on. And up. Down. Left. Right. Left. Right. B. A. Start. Up. Up. Down. Down. Left. Right. Left. Right. B. A. Start. For those of you born after 1985, this is called the Konami Code. And up. Up. Down. Down. Left. Right. Left. Right. B. A. Start. And out. Just let all the stress of the day out with your big breaths.
Okay, you all better now? You're ready to experience me venting and ranting? Good. And hope you enjoyed that. I was... okay. Goodbye. So let's just say you're going to get a summer job next year. I don't know, maybe to pay for college or pay for drugs. I don't know. I don't judge. But you know what? That just got me thinking. I'm an old man now, so I guess I could share some stories with the youth of America. So I'm going to tell you stories about some of my jobs. Anyway, I did a lot of odd jobs. I worked for a phone travel agency for like 3 days. I worked a lot of like AC stuff with my uncle. Not that much, but some. I did like some landscaping, lawn mowing. I've done all that. I don't recommend that at all. Odd jobs are not good. My first real job was at this barbecue restaurant called Bill Miller's Barbecue. We only have it where I come from. They're not really all over Texas, much less all over the United States or anywhere else. So let me just say off the bat, that job sucked. There was nothing redeeming about that job at all. So let me get you the story. So I turned 16 literally that day, and my mom was like, "Well, you're 16 now, time to get a job." So I applied at different places. Not even McDonald's would hire me. So I got an application at a restaurant near my house. And I said, well, I'm going to fill this one out. So I filled it out, and I turned it in to the manager, and she's like, okay, I'll be with you shortly. So it's like, oh yeah, maybe I'll get an interview on the spot. I did. I got the interview, got hired, and began work about maybe 2 weeks later, which was great. I was like, yeah, dude, money is going to be great. Maybe a little nervous, not too much, just mostly, I'm going to work at a barbecue restaurant. Anyway, so I got the job, and I watched this training video, and it was really stupid, and then they said, okay, you're going to come back tomorrow and start your first day. So, okay, I got to start my first day. So anyway, they gave me the uniforms to change into, and I just said, just go to the bathroom and change into your uniforms, because I was wearing this white polo shirt. It was what they had for trainees for some reason. So it's like a big honorary thing. You're going to be changing from your ugly white polos to your ugly orange polos. It's a big deal. So they said, go change, go to the bathroom, change. So I went in the bathroom, changed up, went in the bathroom, and I was like, I look real good, whatever. So I walked out the door, and then one of my friends was about to walk in the bathroom door too. But there's one problem. That friend of mine was a girl. I was in the girls' restroom, changing in the girls' restroom. Hopefully she didn't think anything of it, because I never saw her again after that. I was so embarrassed by that. So I was like, oh, wow. So just think about that. Like, oh, that's going to definitely shape up the rest of this crappy stay at Bill Miller. So, I go in the back, and then I get this guy. His name is Mike. He's a really cool guy, like one of the coolest guys there. He's like, okay, so here's what you have to do. So he explained everything to me really fast. And here are the duties that one person that works in the back has to do. Make chicken, what they call drop chicken. there's this whole area with like dishes and sinks and stuff, and they said like, okay, you're in charge of all the dishes that come out here. You got to make sure this whole area is really clean and caught up with. Then you got it every 4 hours or so. You got to go do what they call the rounds. That means clean the toilets, vacuum the dining area, go around the building and pick up trash, take out all the mats out, sweep them out, bring them back in, while continuing making chicken, cleaning up the back, and busting tables. You had to bust tables at that restaurant, and that was bad. So if that wasn't bad enough, closing that place was a nightmare. We'd have to take this big, huge chicken thing where you like make the chicken and put powder on it. And it was like this big, and it was so dirty with flour and with batter and with everything. You had to push it to the back, and then you got to clean it all out. You got to clean it, scrub it, make sure it's perfectly clean. And then you push it back there, and then you wash all the dishes that come after closing, which is a lot. Then you got to mop, then you got to clean up the walls, whatever, and then the stupid manager comes in and expects it, and he's like, you know, after sitting in his office all day, obviously he could be kind of tired and, you know, annoyed by, you know, sitting in the office counting money, because that's hard. So he's like, all right, guys, this isn't good. Now hurry up, because I really want to get out of here. Oh yeah, you think you want to get out of this crap hole? Look at me, covered in blood, flour, grease, and who knows what else. I want to get out of here. So I did that job for 6 months. I got burns, I got scars, I got scrapes, I got everything you can imagine, because it was the worst possible thing. I got like almost electrocuted to death because a cord for the thing where you like suck up the grease and the fryers got shocked me. I was like, ah, bad job. Oh, worst job I've ever had. I guess you could argue to say the pay was okay for an entry-level job. Was $7.50 at the time, where I think minimum wage is like $6.25 or $6.95. So that's good. That's good. So I went almost 2 years without getting a job, maybe a year and a half. While I was doing that, I was making YouTube videos here and there, so that was pretty fun. So then I got a job at SeaWorld, and I loved SeaWorld. I loved it. The entire first year, it was like a dream. This is like the greatest job ever. You got to test ride rides. Sometimes I could test ride the coasters, because I worked at a water ride. And I was like, yeah, this is great. And then my supervisor got fired. So I was like, uh-oh, who are they going to replace? So they replaced her with, well, someone who has the ability to ruin everything, might I say. So anyway, she was really strict. She took all the fun, kind of sucked it out with like a vacuum. Hey, you want fun? Too bad! This is a job, not fun. Sucked it out with a vacuum cleaner. And then, to make matters worse, our company got bought out by another company. SeaWorld used to be owned by Anheuser-Busch. It's not anymore. It's owned by some other company. So they decided to change our breaks up. So to give you a story, our breaks used to be 45 minutes if you worked over 6 hours, and an hour if you worked 8 hours or over. So that was great. We had those breaks. We could go off out of the park, eat like at Burger King, McDonald's, whatever. There's also a little cafe for the employees that the food was really cheap and it was pretty good, which was really far. So it's all the way across the park, but you'd have time to walk there and walk back, and it would be no problem. They decided to change it to so that you only get 30-minute breaks, and was it like 15-minute breaks if you work under 6 hours, and anything over 6 hours was a 30-minute break, which was awful. So here's me at a little ride on the other side of the park, which was like at least a 10 or 12-minute walk from the cafe. So not only did we have to go and clock out, and the clock out thingy was like in another area. Let's see, there's this ride, the ride they call Great White, and then this room with like the games and stuff. And you have to go in the game room, go in the back area where like the guests don't go, and swipe out. Then you had to go all the way out there with people asking you a whole bunch of questions, might I add, all the way to the break room. So you'd eat there, you had to eat real fast, and then go all the way back and swipe back in. So I had like the brilliant idea to open my mouth and say, well, there's a clock out thingy inside the break area. Can we swipe out there? No. No, you can't do that. I've seen you do that before. Yeah, well, no. Well, the thing is, I'm a supervisor, so I gotta be on duty the entire time. So just in case some incident happens while I'm walking there, I have to be able to be ready to go and do what I need to do if there's an incident, because I'm really dedicated to this job, and I need to be at places where they need me. So I need to be on the clock all the time. Oh, really? That makes perfect sense. Except for the fact that it didn't make any sense at all. I asked another supervisor the exact same question, and she said, well, you can't swipe out over there, because if you swipe out at a different part of the park, it might mess up the computer data, and you might get paid less, or something. Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense too, because not only are we asked to keep a log of our time, there is a sheet that you're supposed to sign in with your name, ID number, time swiped in, time swiped out, break time, and your end break time. Is that not gonna help, fix the computer if there's a problem? Isn't that the exact same thing you told me on the orientation? Please sign this, because if the computer malfunctions, we'll have this as a backup. Isn't that what you told me? So what are you talking about? The only reason I could see that they wouldn't let us swipe in over there is because maybe you might take your time or something. But that's not fair. Maybe some employees would, and maybe I even would sometimes, because oh gosh. But come on, here's the option you have. You have an option to swipe out, walk all the way over there, and take 10 minutes of your break to walk, and then another 10 minutes of your break to walk back, and eat. Or don't eat! One of the two. Yeah. And this is supposed to be fair ground. At the beginning, when they changed this, they said, oh, don't worry, because us supervisors are going to have to take 30-minute breaks too. Oh, okay. Right. I saw my supervisor with a Chick-fil-A cup. What? Coming back from break. So what are you talking about? Let's just say Chick-fil-A was about maybe 5 to 10 miles away from the park. I've tried to go off the park before. I went to a Burger King, which was down the street from SeaWorld, and I still came back from break late. So I asked her, I was like, what did you do? I was like, oh, don't worry about it, okay? Oh, yeah. I know for a fact that some of the supervisors do take longer breaks. Maybe because they work longer than we do, maybe because they're special, and maybe because they're gods. I'm not really sure. But the point is, there's no equal fair treatment there anymore. Whatever happened the first year is gone. There is nothing left. It is just a piece of... oh, I don't know. Granted, there are some nice supervisors. There are some nice other people. So I'm just venting here. But that's my story. There's a lot of other stories which I'd love to share to you if you want it. If you're planning on getting a summer job next summer, or a job now, I do recommend getting one at an amusement park or something, because that's probably the best job you can get as a young teenager person. Whatever you want. Do whatever you want. But this is what I have to say to you, because it's fun. We talk. Talking is good. I talk a lot. See you tomorrow. Wait, no video tomorrow. I'm going to be gone all day tomorrow, so no video tomorrow. Okay, bye.